Welcome back to another episode in our series of shorts, 10 Reasons to Invest in Indonesia. In this episode, we'll be going into the 7th reason out of the top 10 reasons. If you haven't listened to parts 1 to 6 of this series, we recommend tuning into that before listening to this podcast. Otherwise, let's get into reason number 7, which is that a growing and maturing incubator, accelerator, and social enterprise ecosystem is available here in Indonesia. So business incubators and accelerators provide a range of support services to entrepreneurs in business creation and during the early stages of the business lifecycle. Why is Indonesia?
Yeah, I think that ties into a couple of things that we were discussing in some of the earlier sessions. One of them is the idea of impact investment, and the other one is the idea of the digital economy. There are really exciting opportunities, I think, for investment into tech, and particularly if that tech can have a positive social impact, then I think, if you've got a couple of $1 million to spend on something, think about spending it on that in Indonesia for sure.
I think also we keep repeating this, that the omnibus law is very much focused on this aspect to create an investment environment to fast track these incubators and maturing aspects of the business.
In the article, you also mentioned that today Indonesia has over 20 startup breeders around the country, and they've identified around 66 organizations and entrepreneurs in the social entrepreneurship ecosystem space. So I guess that goes back into what we mentioned earlier as well, that there's large opportunities for social impact, environmental impact.
Yeah.
As an investor.
Yeah.
What's interesting to see too, I was in I think I was on the plane going somewhere, where one of these high-end magazines talked about this topic too, where I think it was about 20 young Indonesian entrepreneurs. And all of that was driven into the social impact and eco impact and so on, and how they are changing the Indonesian economy and the view of Indonesian economy.
I think that's really it's a really interesting field to look at, actually, because for me it ties into some really strong cultural aspects of Indonesia. Indonesia has a very strong sense of family and a very strong sense of community, which is something that I think most Western countries have lost. So there's always this sense of looking after your village, or looking after your family, or looking after your communities and things. So I think there are a lot of ideas that are being born related to that. And in the same way, even though you get a lot of naysayers and a lot of people criticizing Indonesia for its pollution and the plastic and things, sure, it's got a problem, but it's trying to deal with it. And we've got to remember about the numbers of people that are involved, that are actually living in Indonesia. So there's a lot more people living here than there are in the UK, for example, or in Australia. And obviously there's going to be more trash and more waste as a result of that. And having said that, you look around in certain parts of Bali, for example, where the whole community is out sweeping the streets and cleaning the ghats, and they've got this gotong royong thing going, and actually making their immediate environment a healthy, clean environment.
I think all these points about, social impact, environmental impact, and the investment market, we are repeating it, but it really stresses how much of an opportunity there is and why it would be such a great opportunity, a great space for many people to come into.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much for your knowledge, Terry and Andy, and thank you for all you listeners for tuning in to this episode in our series of shorts, 10 Reasons to Invest in Indonesia. This has been reason number 7. Make sure to look at our blog on the top 10 reasons, which outlines all the points mentioned in the more detailed blog from Thierry Sanders, Top 10 Reasons to Invest in Indonesia. Keep a lookout for the next episode to find out reason number 8 of the 10 reasons to invest in Indonesia.